wife, and I'm pretty sure she loves and respects me for what I bring to the table, right? We've just had 2 kids, right? So her hands are full. She's also, a health coach. She is managing those calls, right? And if I have to kind of come in at some points to make sure that if she's got 3 calls back to back, and if I have to kind of sit in, I'm happy to sit in, and vice versa, right? If I have had a hard day of work and if there is food on the table, and I respect what she's done for me and I appreciate what she's done for me, and it's not something she's doing out of no choice, but because she has to, then it's a problem, But if she's doing it out of love for me, I'll happily take it, And the same goes for me, If I want to take an evening off and take her out for a movie, or hey, let's go out for dinner, or hey, you know what? I mean, I baked a cake for her 3 years ago. And I personally think it was the worst cake I've ever baked. Not like I've baked many. I've probably baked like 10 cakes in my life. And that was probably the worst. It was hard, right? It was very hard. Like, literally pound it to crack it, right? And, she had a bite and she said, for her, even today, she'll talk about that cake, right? Because it's appreciating the efforts. It's appreciating and respecting each other for what you bring to the table. I think that is what is most essential, right? It's respect. And I think that cuts across everything in life,
Hi, good evening. You're watching Plain Speak. I'm Akanksha. The Siddaramaiah-led Business Advisory Committee in Karnataka has approved a proposal to hike the salaries of Karnataka state legislators. The move has already set the stage for a significant pay increase. The decision made during a high-powered meeting is expected to spark controversy, especially as previous salary hikes under the BJP-led government back in the year 2022 had faced no resistance either from Congress or Janata Dal Secular. Currently, a Karnataka MLA receives a salary of approximately 1 lakh rupees per month, along with additional allowances and perks that push their total monthly earnings beyond 3 lakh rupees. The new hike is expected to further increase these earnings significantly. The potential new pay hike and funding demands have raised questions about fiscal responsibility during a period when the state has struggled to clear the bills of contractors and is reeling under abysmal allocation to backward regions of Karnataka. Not just this, Congress MLA Ashok Patil has sought 20 crore rupees for a legislators club, along with 15 recliners for MLAs to take power naps during lunch hour. The BJP has slammed this decision, stating that they have never asked for such luxuries. All this comes at a time when over 100 government buildings, including the Vidhan Saudha and Raj Bhavan, have not paid their property tax. The dues run into more than 100 crore rupees. Even as the BBMP cracks down on regular citizens for defaulting, BBMP officials are now personally visiting these government offices, urging them to clear their dues. And that's what's even more striking. The hike in salaries comes along with a plethora of other luxurious demands by Congress MLAs, and the timing of Bengaluru's civic body, the BBMP, is issuing notices to 258 government buildings, and here's exactly why. Let's take you through them. The MLAs have demanded 30 to 40% hike in their monthly salaries, and in a stark contrast, which you can see, the BBMP has said that dues of more than 100 buildings are still pending and are unpaid. The MLAs have also demanded 20 crore rupees for this legislators club. They say, like there's a press club, there needs to be an MLAs club as well. This demand comes at a time when the government is yet to pay property taxes on significant structures like the Vidhan Saudha, Raj Bhavan and even the Vikas Saudha. Even if the salary hike is done, MLAs club was not enough. The MLAs also want massage chairs, recliners inside Karnataka Assembly. Meanwhile, the civic body in Bengaluru has claimed that some of the government departments have defaulted for 17 years, owing more than 100 crores in dues. This is just the latest in a series of controversies that has hit the Congress government in Karnataka, which, by the way, is already struggling to meet the 5 guarantees it had promised when it arrived in the state. The government is struggling to implement the 5 guarantees, but it was only recently that the government was in news for splurging a whopping amount for the makeover of Chief Minister's residence. All this while the general public was paying the price with a hike in the prices of basic necessities, whether it's milk, whether it's fuel, even electricity. There's a crunch in the state when it comes to funds for the Karnataka Kalyan Board, but the Exchequer seems to have just enough to renovate the Chief Minister's office. While the government increased to power tariffs in the state, similarly, the deadly potholes of Karnataka have been a concern across years, and while the state is yet to find a solution to the problem, it seems like the comfort of lawmakers precedes that of the common man. The state bus fares are already hiked, but the MLAs have prioritized recliners for themselves. Now, the MLAs are enjoying comfortable VVIP treatment, no doubt. Meanwhile, it is the Aam Admi of Karnataka who's having to bear the brunt of it, and there seems to be no relief in sight either. Here's what the Congress debt fact file looks like at the moment. In Karnataka, the government is facing outstanding liabilities of 22.7% of the state's GDP, or over 7 lakh rupees. In fact, 7 lakh crore rupees. It's not only about Karnataka, this also seems to be the case in all Congress-ruled states. Yes, we are also talking about Himachal Pradesh. The outstanding liabilities are over 44% of the state's GDP, which amounts to over 1 lakh crore rupees. The net interest payment of rupees 5,465 crore. Let's look at Telangana. The outstanding liabilities are over 27%, in fact close to 28% of the state's GDP, or which in fact amounts to over 4 lakh crore rupees, and the net interest payment amounts to over 22,000 crore rupees. And so as the debt continues to grow, there's a brazen display of VVIP treatment of MLA Giri in Karnataka. Are the MLAs even putting themselves above? Are they even considering themselves that they stand for the people, and are they placing themselves above the people? That's the question that we'll be posing to our guests today.
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪೆನಾಲ್ಟಿ ಮತ್ತು ಇದು ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜೀರೋ ಆಗಿ 1/3 ಅಮೌಂಟ್ಗೆನೆ ಸೆಟಲ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ
those few person who criticize, they should understand they shouldn't see MLAs or MPs like enemies. They should treat them like their family members.
We will bring legislation regarding revision of salary. Subject was mentioned, saying that no facilities are provided, and speakers also mentioned to CM. CM said we will consider.
People coming to me and telling me how 60-70% of the bill that is owed to them by the government of Karnataka are being taken by as commissions by officers and ministers of the government of Karnataka. This is why there is no money for development.
Let me introduce our esteemed panelists. Anand Gurumurthy, who is the spokesperson for Karnataka BJP, joins us today. So does Dr. Shankara Guha, who is the spokesperson for Karnataka Congress, Pratap Kanagal, who is the spokesperson for JDS, and Mr. Saeed Asad Abbas, who is a political analyst. Many thanks to you, gentlemen, for joining in. Let's have it straight from the horse's mouth. Dr. Shankara Guha, what's the need for a salary hike for our MLAs? Are they so starved?
See, first of all, the increase in salary, it is a proposed move. Nobody has said that this percent is going to be increased. It is a proposed move. And periodically...
Dr. Guha, what do you mean by it's a proposed move and not that it has been implemented? I'm sure you're not doing it as an act of mirth or jest. You seriously mean it, right? Proposals have certain meanings. We can't just say that these are proposals. Yes, please go ahead.
The salary hike is not only for Congress MLAs.
True.
The salary hike is not just for Congress MLAs. It is for all the 424 MLAs. In 2022, when the BJP also hiked the salaries by 60%, it was for all the MLAs.
And you didn't oppose.
And secondly, the chairs that you are talking, you are misleading the people. They are not bought. They are not purchased. Those chairs are taken on rent for a period of 15 days or during the period of the assembly. Okay, I'll tell you. Give me 1 minute. I will tell you the reason.
And why do you need those recliners is what I'd like to know.
No, I'll tell you. Give me 1 minute. I will tell you the reason. Now, there are many senior citizens and people who are unable to sit. What is happening is post-prandial, including BJP, including Congress, JDS, MLAs, there are seniors, post-prandial nap. Once they go out of the session, many people are not returning back. In an order to encourage them to stay back, it is a small thing that they have given. There is no massage chair over there. It is not some luxury chair. It is a chair which is rented at a cost of 10 or 12,000 rupees per day for all the 15 or 20 chairs that you are talking of. So there is no big hue and cry. And in Jharkhand, it's just a 70 seat assembly. They are drawing the second highest or the third highest salary in the entire country. Why nobody is opposing that? That is a BJP ruled state from start. BJP is ruling Jharkhand for the last 15 years. They are drawing a salary of almost 1.6 lakhs.
Okay.
What is the need?
Let me bring in Anand Gurumurthy on that note. Anand Gurumurthy, how do you respond to the counter allegations coming in? Keep in mind that everything will now be jogged back to what happened in February of 2022. You had brought in a similar proposal to hike salaries, which again was unopposed. Today also, we've heard you raise the plight of the common man in Karnataka because of the corruption in the government. But why haven't you stepped out and opposed this move of salary hikes? Do MLAs really deserve that salary hike?
See, number one is if they're not delivering, okay, they don't deserve anything. Okay, this is how it works, right? It works like that in every sector.
Your MLAs also?
Dr. Gurumurthy.
Of course, sir. It includes my MLAs also. When I say it, we say it from BJP. When we say it with what do you say? With respect to everybody. Okay. So if
can we have a coherent discussion, please? Can we please have a coherent discussion, Dr. Guha? He didn't interrupt you. Please allow him to speak.
Okay. So basically, it includes all MLAs, as Mr. Guha asked. Yes, it includes all MLAs. Now, who is the ruling party here? Siddaramaiah is the chief minister, and all the MLAs of Congress have voted in to become the chief minister, and he is the ruling party. He's the ruling CM here. Now, what is he delivering to the people? Potholed roads. From 2.5 years, we are having a lot of issues with respect to development activities. Bescom lines have become electrified, and people are dying because of bad maintenance. Load shedding is back in Bengaluru. Streets of Bengaluru have become rowdies, areas. Okay, nobody cares for law and order, and this is what they are delivering. And now they are telling we'll hike. How can people accept this kind of things? And they want reclining chairs because they are tired after the session. If they can't deliver, if they are too old, then let them resign and go. Whoever is asking for all these things.
I think that's a fair point. I think that's a very fair point. I think that's a very fair point, and I'm sure, Dr. Guha, you will agree that if our legislators are feeling too tired by, say, 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, are they even fit for service? That's the prime question.
Absolutely. Those who can voluntarily say, unfortunately, I am not able to deliver my services. This is time for me to say quit, and I am quitting and going. That is the best thing that could happen to this country. Cutting across party lines, I know, and my friend Gurumurthy also knows that it is not going to happen. Okay, so let's face the reality.
Pratap Kanagal, I want to bring you in.
It's a very far-fetched idea, although it's a very welcome idea. It is not going to happen.
Pratap Kanagal, Siddaramaiah has now highlighted an amount of over 53,000 crore rupees between the years 2017 and 2025 that was lost due to cess and surcharges being kept outside the divisive tax pool. He's calling it financial strangulation. I want to ask you, if cess and surcharges are not shared, why should Karnataka continue to pay? That is also a question which Siddaramaiah has posed, and I'm going to also take that from our BJP spokesperson.
First, let me start with whatever the topic we were discussing, and then I'll come to this point. As I said, this whatever salary hike and other things for the MLA, it's indirectly the timing of this move is a kind of misleading thing, because most of the MLAs, including its own party MLAs, Congress MLAs, are disappointed because of the developmental works are not happening in their own constituencies. They are not given the funds to their constituencies, so they are very disappointed for that. Now he has come out with that what are the salary hike thing. That is number one. Number two, none of the things, whatever the promise, nothing is happening in Karnataka. To be honest, like maybe last 10, 15 years, the last especially 2 years been the worst in terms of governance, in terms of development works, or in terms of law and order. It's all collapsed. There is nothing. It's like in Karnataka, it's only except for increasing the pace, there is no government at all. It's as good as that.
I want to bring inside Abbas over there, but I don't know if Abbas can hear me right now. But let me take that from. All right, Abbas, you're back now, and
Yes,
I want to
yes,
ask
I'm
you:
here.
is tax devolution going to even help the state of Karnataka, and is Siddaramaiah justified in highlighting that that is in fact also taking away from Karnataka's own earnings? He's in fact shared an amount over 53,000 crores, which the state was sort of robbed of, is what he claims, between the year 2017 and 2025.
Absolutely, Akanksha. I completely agree with Siddaramaiah ji for the fact that the Karnataka state here in our beautiful country of India remains to be the second largest contributor of the GDP of the entire nation. So therefore, the devolution of taxes needs to be right. And Siddaramaiah is standing with the people of Karnataka. He's a Kannadiga himself. Not just that. Let me bring to your notice to my BJP spokesperson friend. Respected sir, are you even aware that in the BJP government, Basuraj Bommai was the chief minister. He signed off on two bills. Karnataka legislators salary hike and allowances bill 2022, Karnataka ministers pension allowances bill 2022. So आप करें तो प्यार, हम करें तो वार, ये कैसा अत्याचार? This is absolute duplicity and hypocrisy from the BJP when they do it. And by the way, let me tell you, it costed the state exchequer more than 90 crore. Also, as a matter of fact, even then, our state was reeling under debt. It is not just now. But when you compare it to a Karnataka state, look at the numbers. Over the last 1 year, 52,000 crore annually has been given by Karnataka government. Gruha Jyoti, Gruha Lakshmi, Anna Bhagya, Yuva Nidhi, Nari Shakti, so on and so forth. And if you look at the people of Karnataka in the recently held by-elections, they have again voted for Congress party, Sandur, Shiggaon, Chenpatna. So what is the BJP even crying
Anand
about?
Gurumurthy, come
We
in
need to
on that.
understand that every successive government in Karnataka
stop
has
that,
had
come in.
debts. Be it Kumaraswamy as a chief minister, be it
If the
Bommai, be it
analyst
Yediyurappa,
stops
or even
being a Congress
Siddaramaiah.
spokesperson,
So therefore,
I can
the
come
right
in.
way to go
Inside
ahead
the pass,
is for the
let
people of
Anand
Karnataka to decide
Gurumurthy
on the
now
same
make
front.
his point. Let's also give him a chance to speak.
Okay, so basically, if you see the whole thing, what he tried to explain as a Congress spokesperson more than an analyst, okay. Let me just tell you, in 2022, when things were happening, right? What was the situation? It was a pretty bad period that we went through in Corona period. After that, things were becoming more stable, and then those things happened. What was needed was done. It was not done for almost a decade because of Mr. Siddaramaiah's rule. Again, from 2013 to 18, he kept those things pending, and it was done during Bommai's period. And when Bommai left office, he had 5,000 crores surplus in the treasury. And what is the situation that Siddaramaiah has put the state into now? Mr. Analyst, please understand that
I will
also.
answer that,
Before
sir.
questioning
If you allow
BJP,
me.
we always leave a surplus amount,
Thank you
and
for
then
the compliment,
when we
Ganesh.
perform, we take some. The MLS take benefits because they also need to lead a life, corruption-free
Asad,
life. It's
Asad,
not like the Congress
let's
MLAs.
hear what
you know.
Asad has to say.
Firstly,
these
I'd like to
numbers come
thank
very
my friend
positive.
Anand Gurumurthy of the BJP party. Thank you, sir, for the compliment on the show. Thank you very much, sir. I think you can also learn from an analyst and get better with your debates too as a spokesperson. Now, coming to the point, respected sir, you speak of Siddaramaiah, right? But are you even aware of every single scheme which has been implemented? Of course, there has been a 2 to 3 minute delay, which even DK Shiv Kumarji has admitted. Even KH Muniappa, the minister in question, has admitted. Yes, I, as a Karnataka person, I stand that every scheme must be implemented. But the fact of the matter is, in the larger good of the
Sir,
people,
keep the
the
jargon
larger
slow and let me
welfare of the
reply.
people,
Keep
sir,
the
don't
jargon slow and
interfere,
let me
sir.
reply, sir.
Sir, this is not fair. I did not interfere when you spoke,
No,
sir.
no, no.
Please
You are just
extend
throwing
the same
jargon.
courtesy.
Let him make his
Okay.
point.
Akanksha ji, this is
Mr.
not fair.
Gurumurthy, I will come to you. I will give you
Sir,
additional 15 seconds.
Sir, I heard
to
you
make your point.
patiently. Extend the same
Right.
courtesy. The
I-
fact of
I'm
the matter,
already
let us
many times
understand.
Let's have a
when the
coherent
Bharatiya-
discussion.
Just waste
Yes.
time. Instead, let me
when the
reply.
Bharatiya Janata Party does the same thing, it's called welfare scheme. But respected sir, you and your party have done the same. Take out your manifesto 2023 Karnataka elections. You have also mentioned about 5 kg rice something like Anna Bhagya scheme. You have also mentioned about 1 liter milk.
No, but I think, Asad, you are losing the point over here.
Yes, he just lost the point.
You're talking at a time when the state government
let me
is
come
grappling
in
to
with-
fulfill its 5 guarantees. So let's not go there. Okay,
No, one
Anand
second.
Gurumurthy, please.
1 second. The most important thing is the same DK Shiv Kumar told nothing can happen in Bangalore for 3 more years. He clearly told that with this government, no development fund is being given to any MLA. How can the MLA even sleep on those chairs, massage
Right.
chairs,
Fair enough.
when
Fair
his
enough.
constituency people are not even getting
Fair
development fund? How can
Yes,
you even peacefully
Dr.
sleep on
Dr.
those?
Guha, I think you need to come in on that. That's actually a question which should shake the conscience of the Congress party. How can your MLAs even think of sleeping?
No.
When
When there's-
development
when
fund,
there-
let's
there's-
He is being misquoted. He is being misquoted. All he said was, in
There's
2
a
or
cost
3
of
years,
living
it is not
crisis.
possible to
There's a
change
cost
the
of
city.
living crisis in your
It needs
state.
a long-term vision.
There's a cost of living crisis in your state. People cannot afford their groceries. They cannot afford their milk. They cannot afford fuel. And you think that these people deserve recliners even if they are on rent? It's a shame.
I need to correct you on one issue. In 2018, when the Congress government quit,
Do these MLAs deserve a pay hike? Do these MLAs deserve recliners? Do they deserve a legislators club? You have some goal to say that. I want to bring in Pratap Kanagal on that note. Pratap Kanagal, I am also told that the legislator club was in the making, has been in the making for quite some time, and that the preceding governments have equally been forwarding the plans of this legislator club. So should we just be questioning the Congress party?
Basically, even the legislators or MLAs or MPs, they, at the end of the day, they are also human beings, and yes, they also deserve the salary hike, everything fair. If it has
Are
to be
they
done
human beings
when
above
everything
the
is-
needs of the common man?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. When everything is set right, when everything is clear, then when you have extra money, you do it. No one will question. We will not also will question that. But when you don't have money to pay for Gruha Lakshmi, Gruha Jyoti, or even all the transport corporations, they are not paying the salaries. Some of the salaries are delayed. So many things are happening. In that time, it's not required. It's not the time to do all these things. This is definitely Congress move. Whatever is done, it's not at all justified.
Anand Gurumurthy, you want to make a point?
Let them build Taj Mahal for themselves after attending to the
Yeah.
people. Okay, nobody cares. Let them first do things, pay the contractors. It is already pending from 3-4 years. Let them pay the contractors. Let them do small development works that they have to show on their portfolio. And then let them, fix the electricity problem. Our businesses are failing. Let them fix that Whitefield side of Bengaluru where, there are so many multinational companies functioning, giving lakhs of jobs. They can't do anything. They are spoiling the state. And, now they are talking about recliners and pay hike. This is the most shameless government that Karnataka has ever
All right.
Thinking about conducting Jilla Panchayat elections or BBMP elections. It's waited for so many years.
Okay, let Dr. Guha make a point.
Their priorities are different.
Can I be allowed to make up my
Yes,
point, please?
yes. No, I'm going to come to you, Syed Abbas, but let me also hear what Dr. Guha has to say, because I have a question for Dr. Guha. Dr. Guha, I'm giving you 15 seconds, and then I'd want you to answer the question.
You please pose your question. I will finish my reply together.
Okay.
Tell me what the question
So
is.
the question is that the Karnataka Contractors Association continues to maintain that the 40% commission is happening very much under your government also, and this is one of the important planks that you used to arrive to power in Karnataka. What is it that you can say now in your defense?
This claim of corruption in distributing the bills is false as far as our government is concerned. If there is anything, please bring in the proof. We will be the first one to take action. It's a consciously
D. Kempana is the president of the State Contractors Association.
Business in the government.
He has presented papers.
Doing when they were in power. Why didn't BJP fix the Whitefield? Why didn't they do it? What did they do? Simply blaming is not going to solve the problem. Number 3, you and I discussing on this panel is not going to solve the problem here. Please go and tell your MLAs. Let them go and give a representation to the speaker and tell them, no, sorry, sir, we don't want any hike. Start, you should lead. Charity begins at home. Do it. Please do it. Why are you stopping them? Who's stopping them? Nobody is doing. They don't want to do it.
So you think BJP is in power?
They want the price hike. They want their extra salary. So, you and I discussing here will not solve that. Please go and please go back
Since
and
we're
tell your
talking
MLA.
about charity beginning at home, let's begin with the 5 guarantees. Let's begin with the 5 guarantees.
Raise the same issue in Gujarat. All your MLAs there also are taking highest salaries. Out of the 5, Karnataka ranks number 19 as far as MLAs are concerned on their salary
Interesting
front.
point. Anand Gurumurthy, would you like to respond to that?
You see what Gujarat is today, okay, after BJP ruled for so many years, Saurashtra, okay, completely a desert.
It's a set of lies.
Transformed into a manufacturing hub. And our MLAs can claim anything like that in Karnataka. After the era of SM Krishna, okay, you showed me, during Yediyurappa, so many schemes came in for girl child and other things. So let Siddaramaiah government show something, and then, they can shamelessly claim that, okay, we are doing something great.
You got to stop lying. Set of lies. What happened to the price rise of petrol? Where is petrol now? You said dollar will come down.
Come on.
What happened to that?
Come on. Your government raised it so much. You should be, guilty of all these things and then stop taking hikes. Your power tariff, then water tariff, then you have made this e-Khata thing and troubling citizens on a daily basis. Bribe is happening in the revenue office for e-Khata. What lies? Now the contractors are also up against you guys. In buses,
All right.
are not able to
I am running short of time.
go to school.
I want to
Law and
bring
order
in
is a
Syed
mess.
Asad
And how
Abbas.
shamelessly they are increasing.
Abbas,
the
I'm
thing
going
and
to
then
in fact
the
present
opposition
some
party
data
has
in
to go and
front
ask
of you
for
and weigh in on that data as you make the point that I'll let you make. In 2006 October, we have Maharashtra's government, which was against the Congress government. 42 Maharashtra MLAs are sent off on a Europe tour. In 2008 April, MLAs are entitled to 20 free air trips. In Uttar Pradesh, July of 2012, which was the Samajwadi Party government, MLAs getting 20 lakh rupees for cars. Goa government, back then was the BJP government. In June 2014, outcry over Goa MLAs 89 lakh rupees World Cup junket in Brazil. What does it speak of the plight of our country and the legislators?
That's a very, very honest and a pointed question that you've asked, Akanksha ji. I completely agree with you. Be the Congress party or the Bharatiya Janata Party or any party, as a matter of fact, including JDS, must be answerable to the state's exchequer. The larger point that I'd like to derive is, thank you for taking a topic which matters to us, Karnataka. Let us also speak on what's happening with the Bangalore traffic. Yes, I admit to you that DK Shivkumarji made a very controversial statement. He said that even God can't fix this problem soon. And he said it will take at least 3 years to fix Bangalore's issues. It's not just DK Shivkumar who's seeing this. Adarnya Pradhan Mantri Modi ji, June 21st, 2022, here in Bangalore, during metro expansion project, said the same.
I'm afraid I'll have to leave it at that. I'm sure all of us will unanimously agree that at a time when there's rising cost of living, the government in Karnataka can at least ensure there's money for development of the state first and then recliners for those legislators. And with that, I'm now going to be slipping into a quick break. But on the other side, Samajwadi Party leaders Aurangzeb eulogy has triggered a massive political uproar. We will be telling you all about it and the big face-off that's been ensuing in the Maharashtra Assembly. Stay tuned to Plain Speak.
A pause on shipment of US military aid to Ukraine after his heated Oval Office argument with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky last week. Now, the halt in aid came after Trump held a series of meetings with top national security officials at the White House. Now, the pause will apply to all military equipment not yet inside Ukraine.
I think it takes two to tango, and you're going to have to make a deal with Russia, and you're going to have to make a deal with Ukraine. You're going to have the assent, and you're going to have the consent from the European nations, because I think that's important. And I think everybody has to get into a room, so to speak, and we have to make a deal. And the deal can be made very fast. It should not be that hard a deal to make. It could be made very fast. Now, maybe somebody doesn't want to make a deal. And if somebody doesn't want to make a deal, I think that person won't be around very long. I believe that Russia wants to make a deal. I believe certainly the people of Ukraine want to make a deal. They've suffered more than anybody else. Under President Bush, they got Georgia, right? Russia got Georgia. Under President Obama, They got a nice big submarine base, a nice big chunk of land where they have their submarines. You know that, right? Crimea. Under President Trump, they got nothing. And under President Biden, they tried to get the whole thing. They tried to get the whole big Ukraine, the whole thing. If I didn't get in here, they would have gotten the whole thing. I gave Russia nothing except grief. Well, I just think you should be more appreciative because this country has stuck with them through thick and thin. We've given them much more than Europe, and Europe should have given more than us because they were a lot smarter than Joe Biden because Joe Biden didn't have a clue, and they should have been able to equalize with us. In other words, if we gave $1, they should have given. Well, we gave $350 billion. They probably gave 100, but on top of it all, they get their money back because they're doing it in the form of a loan, and it's a secured loan. I want all of those young people to stop being killed. I want to see it stop. The money is one thing, but the death, and they're losing thousands of soldiers a week.
All right, I'm now joined by CNN News 18's Akanksha Swaroop on this broadcast. Akanksha, big decision by United States at this point, but also not surprising because after the fist, we have seen the kind of furious argument that took place in the Oval Office. It was very much expected that this is going to be the decision that will be taken soon by United States.
Right, and there's been a fresh spat again, a fresh war of words, Sharon, which we must inform our viewers about because Donald Trump took to Truth Social some hours ago where he's referred to Volodymyr Zelensky's recent comments post the conclusion of that EU summit that took place, which was hosted by Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of UK in London. And he's referred to those statements of Volodymyr Zelensky where he said that he doesn't see an end to the war anytime nearby. And Donald Trump is furious. He's seeing red again, and he's saying that this is the worst statement that the Ukrainian president could have made. And soon after that, we get the news that the United States has paused the military aid for Ukraine. In fact, I'd like to also quote what the White House had to say. They said that the president has been clear that he is focused on peace. We need our partners to be committed to that goal as well. We are pausing and reviewing our aid to ensure that it is contributing to a solution, and that they will, sort of review if the leaders are committed to stabilizing this war, are committed to meeting the goals of peace, which
Welcome back. Now, Samajwadi Party leader Abu Azmi has triggered a massive controversy, calling Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb as a good administrator. The remark has triggered a massive political debate with BJP and allies coming down heavily on the Samajwadi Party leader. From protests to ruckus inside the Maharashtra Assembly, there has been a massive uproar, following which Abu Azmi has issued an apology, but a token one at the very best. And here's why it's been regarded as a sham apology. A day after Abu Azmi claimed that history has been misrepresented in the recently released movie Chava, today he said that Aurangzeb did not really convert Hindus, but only a few hours later he said that his words were twisted and misrepresented. Yesterday, the Samajwadi Party leader claimed that Aurangzeb built several temples during his rule. Justifying the same, today he added that temples and mosques were destroyed alike, and then a few hours later he took a complete U-turn when he said that he was just repeating what historians have claimed so far and that he knows nothing about it. Eulogizing the Mughal emperor, he also said that Aurangzeb was not a cruel leader. He backed his remark before he also tried to blame the BJP and its allies for politicizing this entire remark. While some may think that the issue has been blown out of proportion, here's why Aurangzeb is a controversial figure in the land of Maharashtra. In the last 2 decades of his rule, Aurangzeb shifted his focus on the Deccan belt, which brought him in direct conflict with the Marathas. The Mughals under Aurangzeb and the Marathas under Shivaji remained sworn enemies and clashed frequently, and it was Aurangzeb who ordered the execution of Sambhaji, the son of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Aurangzeb systematically destroyed Hindu cultural institutions, razing thousands of Hindu temples to the ground. And so as far as Abu Azmi's Aurangzeb eulogy row is concerned, is this appeasement fever in Maharashtra's assembly? We'll be deep diving into that in just a bit.
औरंगजेब रहमतुल्लाह अलैह ने बहुत सारी मंदिरें बनवाई हैं।
औरंगजेब क्रूर शासक नहीं
बिल्कुल नहीं, बिल्कुल क्रूर शासन नहीं बना।
जो टिप्पणी की है उसको ठीक से उप मुख्यमंत्री जो है नहीं समझ पाए, इसलिए वो इस तरह का अनर्गल बेबुनियादी बात कर रहे हैं।
सवाल नहीं है कि एक विशेष धर्म का शासक ही क्रूर था, क्रूरता तो औरों में भी रही है।
अमानवी कृत्य या औरंगजेबाने केलं. या औरंगजेब म्हणाले, अबू आझमी म्हणतात, या अशा औरंगजेबाला काय म्हणतात, कुशल प्रशासक, त्याने मंदिर बांधलं असं म्हणतात. काशी विश्वेश्वराचं मंदिर तोडलं.
जो लोगों ने इस महाराष्ट्र में इतने बड़े बड़े काम किए, सारे धर्म के साथ, सारे इंसान के साथ बराबरी किए, इनके खिलाफ मैं बोलूं, मेरी हैसियत बोलने की कभी सोच भी नहीं सकता मैं. लेकिन अगर इसके बाद भी अगर किसी को ऐसा लगता है कि मैंने इस तरह की बातें बोली हैं और जिससे किसी को आहत हो रहा है, तो मैं अपने स्टेटमेंट को वापस लेता हूँ.
Joining me on the show today is Pooja Mishra, who is a spokesperson for the Samajwadi Party, also Sushi Ben Shah, who is a spokesperson for the Shiv Sena of the Eknath Shinde faction. Many thanks to you ladies for joining in. Sushi Ben, I want to start with the basics first. First of all, why is the Shiv Sena saying that Abu Azmi does not know Maharashtra's history, A, and why are you regarding his apology as a token apology?
Good evening to everyone. It's always a pleasure to be on your show. I will tell you this. Now, here is a man who shies away from saying Vande Mataram, who shies away from saying Bharat Mata Ki Jai. And then, here is a man who talks about the history of India, history of Bharat. What does he know about Aurangzeb? What does he know? How in a very cruel manner, we have two Chhatrapatis of Maharashtra. One is our Daivat, we take him as our god, Shivaji Maharaj, and his son, Shambhu Raje. The way Aurangzeb, in the most cruel manner, in the most heinous manner, the way he's tortured Shambhaji Raje for 40 days. Why? Because he wanted to convert him into a Muslim. Does he not know about the jizya tax? How the Hindus in Maharashtra were forced to convert. If not, they had to pay this jizya tax. Does he not know the number of temples that he's destroyed across the Vidarbha and beyond, whether it be Varanasi, whether it be Gujarat, whether it be Mathura, whether it be Bhubaneswar, across more than 40 temples were demolished by this Aurangzeb. And then you tell him that he was a kushal, he was a able administrator. I mean, what are we talking about? Here is a man who forced conversion. Here is a man who ensured that the Marathas of Maratha, we take great pride. The Marathas of Maharashtra take great pride in Chhatrapati and Shambhaji Raje. What has he done? What are we talking about? Does he not know that here two Chhatrapatis stood for Dev, Desh and Dharma? The understanding of Dev, Desh and Dharma was through the Marathas in
All right. Thank you for setting the tone of this debate. Pooja Mishra, I was interacting with some Muslims and they themselves said that had he supported a ruler like Akbar or Shah Jahan, perhaps there wouldn't have been a furor of such capacity. Are we negating the fact that Krishna Janmabhoomi complex was not destroyed? Kashi Vishwanath temple. What are these examples? He's in fact talked about the golden bird, the rule of Aurangzeb, which went all the way to Afghanistan. Let me tell you, Buddhas of Banyan. It's a fact. Buddhas of Banyan was destroyed by Aurangzeb. If this doesn't make him against religions, and I'm not going to say that he was just against Hinduism. He was against anything that was against the Sharia. It's a fact. He wanted to be seen as somebody who wanted to uphold the Sharia law only to justify the execution of his father and brother.
Imagine, the mother is well.
Let's hear it from Pooja. Yes.
Okay, Akanksha, I just heard the Shiv Sena spokesperson, and I heard you too. Though the Aurangzeb did a lot of things like Balaji Temple, Chitrapur, he donated revenue to the temple. He granted land for the maintenance of Mahakaleshwar Temple, Ujjain. There are many other things also which he done in the favor of Hindus. He was a ruler, and every invader, he also did something wrong, something right. And I think according to the history says this, and according to the history, Abu Azmi said this, maybe he wasn't that anti-Hindu and he wasn't pro-Hindu as well. But I am very, agree with whatever the feeling, whatever the face Shiv Sena spokesperson has. She said that the descendant, we are praising that. The Shivaji, she talked about the Shivaji, but she
Pooja,
didn't
I'm
talk
telling
about
you something.
Raja.
I'm telling you
Raja
something.
Jai Singh.
How do you expect Maharashtra Assembly to treat How do you expect Maharashtra Assembly to treat the Maharashtra president of the Samajwadi Party when in the land of Maharashtra, where Chhatrapati Shivaji and his son Sambhaji both are hailed, they are worshipped as not just hero figures but as gods, literally as gods? How will it go down with the people of Maharashtra? And he's also regarded as a very secular figure. I've met Muslims who were in fact lauded their heroism.
Okay. I'm not regarding him as a secular figure. Okay? Abu Azmi even retracted his statement. He said it shouldn't be commonized. I was just talking about Raja Jai Singh. Who was Raja Jai Singh? Do you know him? The Raja Jai Singh first,
classic,
who had the Aurangzeb. Don't interrupt me. I didn't interrupt you.
Stick to the point, please.
Raja Jai Singh was the person who had the Aurangzeb in capturing Shivaji. And who is Diya Kumari?
I want to ask you, Pooja, who
what are you
tortured?
talking about?
Who was the one who tortured these two people? Who was
So
the one who
they- so
executed
this
his
is
own
according
father
to-
and brother?
according to
Does
me.
it even make him a Muslim? I don't
I
think I would
agree.
even
I
call
agree.
him as the
I
Messiah
agree.
of Muslims. Sushiben.
I agree.
I don't
He can't
understand.
be called as Messiah of
First,
Muslim
this
as
lady
he
should
banned.
know
I
how
think
to
Muhammad,
address.
he banned the Shia.
All right,
I think,
let's
Shia,
also hear it from
Sufis also.
Sushiben Shah, right? Or Sushiben.
Pooja, let me tell you, it is Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and it is Chhatrapati Shambhu Maharaj. In the land of Marathas, in this
Okay,
great bhumi of
Chhatrapati Shivaji
Maharashtra,
Maharaj,
learn
Chhatrapati-
to, we revere
Chhatrapati
them. So learn to address
Shivaji
them
Maharaj,
properly.
okay.
Number one. Number
Okay, I'm
two,
addressing them.
as far as
I'm reiterating it.
Right now-
Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. But what you are doing?
No, allow me to.
Who is
allow
Diya
me to
Kumari?
speak,
And who
lady.
was
Allow me
Jai
to
Singh?
speak. Poojaji, allow me to
No,
speak.
this is hypocrisy. This is hypocrisy. Why aren't you talking about Diya Kumari? Who is Diya Kumari?
Sorry? Now allow me to speak, please. Don't intervene. Now, as far as Aurangzeb is concerned, there is, I think, whether it be the history of India or whether it be in the international,
because
I
they are
don't
into your
see
party.
anyone talking about Aurangzeb as an able administrator. In Islam, the one that he preaches,
That
it is
doesn't mean that this hypocrisy of yours will be
earth under
defined.
the earth, the
Why
land,
you don't want to talk
the
about
soil
this Raja
of.
Jai Singh?
No, but I should be allowed to speak, please.
No.
This lady is constantly
This is my
interfering.
simple question. This is my simple question.
No,
Answer
I
my
don't-
question.
Pooja
Then
ji,
you
wait
can
your
go
turn.
ahead.
Pooja
What
Mishra,
is
I
happening?
think you're not following the decorum of conducting a
Allow
debate,
me
and
to
you
come.
have to
I
allow
have
me
asked
to
a
conduct
question.
one. Please, your question's
Okay.
taken. By
I can
repeating it, your question won't go unheard. Please, you've stated your question. Let her answer now.
Here is a man who betrayed his own father. According to Islam, जन्नत होती है अपने पेरेंट्स के पाँव के नीचे और माँ के पाँव के नीचे होती है स्वर्ग का दरवाजा.
True.
Now both father and mother was tortured and put to death by this Aurangzeb. Or you call him an able administrator? He killed his own father, his own brother, and you call him an able administrator and a golden rule? Here is a man who only the thing that he wanted was power, to crush down Marathas, to crush Hindus, and to try to establish a Sharia law. Those who didn't want to convert into Muslim, jizya was slapped on them. The very law was abolished by Akbar. And here is this man, and Abu Azmi ji says that he was a great and able administrator. Golden rule. I mean, I don't
Pooja
seem to
Mishra,
understand.
how would Abu Azmi like to respond
I
to somebody
think
about someone who imposed jizya, which was meant to tax the non-Muslims, all the demolition of the temples back then, and the fact that he's saying that even mosques were demolished. What is the evidence? Where is the evidence? You know, I'm really appalled the way India's politicians have started making sweeping statements without backing it with any evidence.
I think the evidence which when he denoted funds for Hindu temples, that evidence are available and you can go through. I asked
why don't you come up with it? That's why I have brought you on this show.
No, I have either. I can tell you, I already told you in the initial statement.
Name me one mosque that was demolished by Aurangzeb.
I don't have data about that, but yes, he banned.
Thank you. You've answered my question. I want to bring in Sujiben. Sujiben, today only we've heard Yogi Adityanath say that Samajwadi Party is one party which talks about upholding the ideals of Ram Manohar Lohia. He was someone who believed in Vishnu, Shankar and Ram. But clearly the Samajwadi Party is digressing from those ideals that were upheld by Ram Manohar Lohia. I'd like your thoughts.
You see, exactly. See, the only thing that we can think about is appeasement as far as SP is concerned, Abu Azmi is concerned. The only language, they talk about communism, they talk about appeasement of the minorities. They don't talk about rule of law. They don't talk about natural justice. The only thing that they talk about is supporting the terror, supporting the terrorist, whether it be praying at the mosque, who was a terror, who was of 9/11, the bomb attack. You see what stand they took about the cover that they wanted to be done for the 9/11 martyr. They called him martyr, but according to me, he was a terrorist. So they talk only and only about appeasement, communalism. And one thing I want to ask that lady: Can you ask Abu Azmi to say Vande Mataram? Can you ask him to say Bharat Mata Ki Jai?
Pooja Mishra, how do you respond to that?
He says Bharat Mata Ki Jai. I think there is no Indian who doesn't say Bharat Mata Ki Jai. No, I don't think there is not a single
but Pooja, how do you also?
No, let me answer. Let me answer. You didn't carry forward my question. Who is Jaising and who is Diya
If you're a proud Indian, if you're a proud patriot, you must say
carry forward my question. And the Sena spokesperson didn't answer my question. Who is Diya Kumari and who is Jaising? If you hate that much the invader, you should hate Jaising also and their descendant also. But their descendant are the Deputy Chief Minister of Rajasthan. And one more thing, who is
according to me?
Who is Pragya Thakur?
We have complained
indulged in Malegaon bomb blast.
Treason.
Who is Pragya Thakur? Who said that Nathuram Godse was Deshbhakt? If Nathuram Godse was a Deshbhakt, then how come he killed Mahatma Gandhi? You don't have problem with these people.
I can't hear very clearly.
You have only problem with the SP leaders only. Though he reiterated, even he apologized that.
Pooja, I have a question for you, which is Pooja, I have a question which is pertaining to the topic. So let me bring you back to the topic of discussion. As I shared with you what Yogi Adityanath has to say, that if you are someone who upholds the values of Ram Manohar Lohia, who believed himself in Shankar, Vishnu and Lord Ram, then why oppose the making of the Ayodhya temple or even the Shilanyas?
We never opposed.
Of course,
we never
during the Shilanyas, what are we talking about?
We never opposed. Do you have any evidence?
We will now whitewash history. Okay, Pooja.
No,
then why refer to Mahakumbh when the Chief Minister goes to take a dip as Chapris? That's brought shame upon the Samajwadi Party themselves.
Taking dip into a pool. He wasn't taking dip into the holy Ganga river.
Okay, then what was he doing?
I don't know why you are diverting the debate. You only said
no,
that.
No, I am asking you because you know these are all comments have arrived because they are bringing Samajwadi Party and anti-Sanatan. That's what's bringing the anti-Sanatan. Yeah, that's what's bringing you that label. Don't you have the right to defend that?
Why would I defend that?
Okay, so you are anti-Sanatan, right?
No,
okay, Sushi Ben, you just heard.
Anti-Sanatan.
I can't hear
Don't
at
put
all.
your words into mine. We
okay, I'm going to ask my.
Why do we defend such a statement which never existed? There is no truth on that.
The voice
why
is
would
cracking.
I defend that statement?
No, I just
it's a statement. Lie can't be defended.
Pooja Mishra, I'm just asking you because the Chief Minister himself has made that statement today. When you know the Samajwadi Party is somebody who has forever eulogized and upheld the values that have been propagated by Ram Manohar Lohia. Is it not your right to defend yourself when he says that you are digressing from the essential beliefs that Ram Manohar Lohia himself had in Lord Ram? In Lord Shiva.
We are following Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia. Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia said.
Then why not take pride in the Mahakumbh, which became a global spectacle? We have Jaya Bachchan ji talking about how bodies have been floated in the river Ganga. Why make these sweeping statements?
We took pride in Mahakumbh. But we are the responsible people. We are the responsible opposition. We need to question the mismanagement there. You want us to keep mum when people were dying.
Okay.
You wanted us to not to question the mismanagement.
Okay.
We need to question it.
Okay.
And we did
quick
that
30
only.
seconds I'd like to give Sushi Ben Shah. Sushi Ben, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, I'd like your closing thoughts with regards to the anti-Sanatan Dharma label that's now haunting the Samajwadi Party. It's been happening ever since, but first Mahakumbh and now Abu Azmi.
Not only anti-Sanatan, they are anti-Hindu. They are now in Maharashtra. They are anti-Maratha. Now they are only known the rule of Aurangzeb and the SP. They only eulogy the decline of the Mughal Empire. I mean, they are ashamed that the Mughal Empire declined. Maybe they wanted the Mughals to rule over us, then Marathas.
You forgot the Babu Sargappa.
I'll have to leave it at that. Pooja, I'm going to remind you again. Had you talked about, had Abu Azmi referred to Akbar or perhaps even Shah Jahan, I could have overlooked this. But you're talking about a barbaric ruler like Aurangzeb. Sorry. And with that, let's now shift focus over to the United States. Following the spectacular fallout between President Donald Trump and Ukraine's leader Volodymyr Zelensky, the United States has halted military aid for Ukraine, leaving the war-torn country in an extremely precarious situation. And here's how it's going to affect Ukraine amid Russia's offensive and the global implications of it. The impact of the pause by United States is likely to be felt in 2 to 4 months. There's going to be a shortage of ammunition, which may force rationing of ammunition, and Ukraine's defense fortifications will weaken henceforth. Ukraine's counterattack abilities may also suffer, and the Russian air attacks may also intensify. Russia could push for more territorial gains. With a halt in military aid, Ukraine has now been deprived of supplies which are worth $1 billion in the pipeline, artillery rounds for howitzers, HIMARS rocket used for long-range strikes, Javelin anti-tank missiles, Stinger missiles, armored vehicles, NASAMS air defense systems, small arms and ammunition. They are all going to be impacted, which was not the case during the Biden administration. There are not many options before Zelensky at this stage of the war, and here are the implications of the Oval Office confrontation. Ukraine is clearly at a disadvantage. Ukraine could be compelled to compromise. There is going to be a shift in US stance which could reduce NATO backing. It will be difficult for EU alone to tackle Russia now. Russia is indeed in a stronger position, commanding an upper hand to impose the ceasefire. Zelensky's leadership could come under pressure back home. However, there has been no sign of it yet, even though some MPs are now calling for the impeachment of the Ukrainian president. That's all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching Plain Speak. Up next is The Right Stand with Anand Narasimha.
Co-powered by
A pause on shipment of US military aid to Ukraine after his heated Oval Office argument with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky last week. Now, the halt in aid came after Trump held a series of meetings with top national security officials at the White House. Now, the pause will apply to all military equipment not yet inside Ukraine.
I think it takes two to tango, and you're going to have to make a deal with Russia, and you're going to have to make a deal with Ukraine. You're going to have the assent, and you're going to have the consent from the European nations, because I think that's important. And I think everybody has to get into a room, so to speak, and we have to make a deal. And the deal can be made very fast. It should not be that hard a deal to make. It could be made very fast. Now, maybe somebody doesn't want to make a deal. And if somebody doesn't want to make a deal, I think that person won't be around very long. I believe that Russia wants to make a deal. I believe certainly the people of Ukraine want to make a deal. They've suffered more than anybody else. Under President Bush, they got Georgia, right? Russia got Georgia. Under President Obama, they got a nice big submarine base, a nice big chunk of land where they have their submarines. You know that, right? Crimea. Under President Trump, they got nothing. And under President Biden, they tried to get the whole thing. They tried to get the whole big Ukraine, the whole thing. If I didn't get in here, they would have gotten the whole thing. I gave Russia nothing except grief. Well, I just think you should be more appreciative, because this country has stuck with them through thick and thin. We've given them much more than Europe, and Europe should have given more than us, because they were a lot smarter than Joe Biden, because Joe Biden didn't have a clue, and they should have been able to equalize with us. In other words, if we gave $1, they should have given. Well, we gave $350 billion. They probably gave 100, but on top of it all, they get their money back because they're doing it in the form of a loan, and it's a secured loan. I want all of those young people to stop being killed. I want to see it stop. The money is one thing, but the death, and they're losing thousands of soldiers a week.
All right, I'm now joined by CNN News 18's Akanksha Swaroop on this broadcast. Akanksha, big decision by United States at this point, but also not surprising, because after the fist, we have seen the kind of furious argument that took place in the Oval Office. It was very much expected that this is going to be the decision that will be taken soon by United States.
Right, and there's been a fresh spat again, a fresh war of words, Sharon, which we must inform our viewers about, because Donald Trump took to Truth Social some hours ago, where he's referred to Volodymyr Zelensky's recent comments post the conclusion of that EU summit that took place, which was hosted by Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of UK in London. And he's referred to those statements of Volodymyr Zelensky, where he said that he doesn't see an end to the war anytime nearby. And Donald Trump is furious. He's seeing red again, and he's saying that this is the worst statement that the Ukrainian president could have made. And soon after that, we get the news that the United States has paused the military aid for Ukraine. In fact, I'd like to also quote what the White House had to say. They said that the president has been clear that he is focused on peace. We need our partners to be committed to that goal as well. We are pausing and reviewing our aid to ensure that it is contributing to a solution, and that they will, sort of review if the leaders are committed to stabilizing this war, are committed to meeting the goals of peace, which Donald Trump believes that the Ukrainian president is not. Now, the big question is that immediately Ukraine is going to be faced with, as they have already highlighted, the Ukrainian president and all of you, that they want peace, that they will, but they will continue to fight. What will be the outlines of this sort of deal that they are trying to come up with? That is unanswered. Can the EU and
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I am Anand Narsimhan.
The state of Karnataka is in the midst of a serious financial crisis, grappling with a growing debt burden, limited resources and a strained economy. Yet, against this backdrop, the state's elected representatives, its MLAs, are making headlines for demanding more perks, including 30 to 40% salary hike, recliners for comfort, and a club funded with 20 crore rupees. Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah-led Business Advisory Committee has given its nod to hike of the salary of the state's legislators. The move is set to spark controversy, as and when the BJP-led government hiked MLA salaries back in February 2022, and there was little pushback from Congress or Janata Dal Secular at that time. Currently, a Karnataka MLA receives a salary of approximately 1 lakh rupees per month, along with additional allowances and perks that push their total monthly earnings beyond 3 lakh rupees. The new hike is expected to further increase these earnings significantly. Not just this,